and filled its pages with chords that hit with the force of a battering ram. A piano isn't supposed to sound like this. In one notorious passage, measures 285 to 300, he stacks block chords in B-flat major, instructing the performer to play them as loud as possible, with the pedal held down so the sound blurs and crashes. The result is a barrage of hammer strikes, not gentle melody. Each chord lands with a physical jolt, the kind that rattles the keys and shakes the frame. You can hear the attack, sharp, violent, almost percussive, like someone trying to break through the instrument itself. This wasn't normal music. Eyewitnesses were stunned. Beethoven's own student, Carl Czerny, remembered that he struck the keys with such force that the strings groaned and rattled. Others described him hammering so hard the piano threatened to collapse. The sound wasn't just in the notes, it was in the body. Beethoven's shoulders tensed, his arms arched, his whole weight thrown into the keys. The piano became a drum, a weapon, a way to force rhythm into the air. In rehearsal, he would pound the keys with clenched fists, beating time for the orchestra, desperate to make them feel the pulse. This is where it gets strange. Beethoven's music wasn't meant to be beautiful. It was meant to be felt. The sforzando spikes, those sudden explosive accents, cut through the texture like lightning. Attack transients leap out of the silence, then vanish, leaving the listener unsettled, caught between anticipation and shock. The logic here isn't about melody or harmony, it's about impact, it's about rhythm as something physical, a force that grabs you, shakes you, and refuses to let go. A single idea, just a few notes, can power an entire world. In Beethoven's hands, music doesn't drift from theme to theme, it locks onto a tiny cell and refuses to let go. Take the opening of his Fifth Symphony, 4 notes, stamped out in the first 7 measures. That little fragment isn't just a starting point, it's the engine. It repeats, mutates, invades every corner of the movement. Motif becomes obsession. The same pattern drives the energy forward, slicing through silence, returning in disguise, always pressing. This isn't melody as decoration, it's a germ motive, a seed that grows, splits, and multiplies until the entire structure pulses with its DNA. Beethoven's Appassionata Sonata works the same way. In the first movement, a dark, rolling ostinato, just a repeated left-hand figure, spins under stormy harmonies. It's not about tune, it's about trance. The repetition creates tension, holding the listener in a loop and building pressure with every pass. The logic is relentless. One small cell, stretched and reshaped, becomes an entire universe of sound. Brick by brick, beat by beat. This is where it gets strange. Beethoven's structures look almost mechanical on the page, mapped out with mathematical precision. But in performance, they become living, breathing things, restless, unstable, always threatening to break free. The force comes not from variety, but from repetition. The motif isn't just a theme, it's a pulse, a heartbeat, a signal that something is about to erupt. It was never meant to be background, it was meant to be felt. In the late 1970s, crowds gather on crumbling concrete and dirt streets, drawn by a low, relentless thump. These are the Baileys, the street parties where Brazilian funk is born. The air vibrates with bass, sweat, and the promise of escape. Here, music isn't just entertainment. It's resistance. It's identity. It's a way to claim space in a city that would rather forget its poorest neighborhoods exist. The DJs, Admir Limos, Big Boy, and later DJ Marlboro, haul in crates of imported soul and funk records, layering Miami bass and electro over the backdrop of samba and capoeira rhythms. They splice together loops with battered drum machines, building hypnotic grooves that refuse to end. Short pounding loops, 808 kicks, and sharp snares that echo through the hills. The crowd becomes part of the beat, bodies moving in unison, sweat and laughter mixing with the music. This wasn't meant to be beautiful, it was meant to be felt. Lyrics cut straight to the bone: poverty, police raids, sexuality, black pride, and everyday struggle. MCs stand at the front shouting call and response chants that whip the crowd into a frenzy. The energy is collective, raw, and sometimes defiant. In these moments, the favela becomes a stage for rebellion and joy. Each repeated phrase, Each looped beat holds more than rhythm, it holds a voice. In a city that tries to silence them, the Bailey gives people a way to be heard. The repetition isn't just a musical trick, it's survival, it's insistence, it's a promise that, for a few hours, everyone belongs to the same unstoppable pulse. A single loop can move 1,000 bodies. In Rio, the tambozao rhythm, born in 1998 from a battered drum machine, became the backbone of Bailey funk. It is a simple pattern, pounding kick, crisp snare, syncopated hi-hat, all stacked at a feverish 130 beats per minute. The sound is relentless, engineered for movement. DJs slice and repeat the same 4 or 8 bars, building a wall of rhythm that refuses to let the crowd rest. Each loop lands like a punch, locking dancers into a trance. This is not melody, it is architecture, brick after brick of raw energy, designed to keep the party going until the sun comes up. This is where it gets strange. The same logic that powers the favela's sound systems now drives the global music machine. Streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, are not just neutral hosts. Their algorithms crave repetition. Tracks built on short, dense loops rack up billions of plays. Songs under 3 minutes with heavy beat repetition get added to viral playlists at double the rate of longer, more varied tracks. Bailey Funk's average skip rate is half that of mainstream pop. On Spotify's Funk Hits Brazil, 92% of tracks clock in under 2 minutes 45 seconds, each one a masterclass in rhythmic efficiency. The more a beat repeats, the more the algorithm rewards it, pushing it to the top of playlists, spreading it across continents, and pulling millions into the same shared groove. A DJ in 2025 is less a performer than a programmer, manipulating loops to hack the system. The tambozao is not just a rhythm, it is a code, optimized for dopamine release and algorithmic survival. Sub-bass drops hit like shockwaves, engineered to trigger instant replay. The result is a feedback loop, beats designed for bodies, platforms designed for beats, each feeding the other in an endless cycle of tension and release. This was not meant to be beautiful, it was meant to be felt. When a beat locks in, whether in a Viennese parlor or a Rio street party, something happens deep in the brain. Scientists call it metric conflict, the sensation when one rhythm pushes against another, forcing the listener to track competing pulses at once. It is the difference between a march and a groove, between order and tension. In both Beethoven and Brazilian funk, this tension is not accidental, it is engineered. Studies show that when a pattern like a dotted rhythm overlays a steady beat, the brain's timing circuits light up, struggling to resolve the mismatch. The result is not confusion, it is energy. This is where it gets strange. The same neural machinery that helps a child clap along to a song is what lets a crowd move as one in a packed bailo. When music layers rhythms or repeats a tiny cell, it creates a physical urge to move, to anticipate the next hit, to crave release. These are not historical connections, they are patterns our brains are wired to feel. In a moment, this theory gets put to the test. Now listen to this. Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, stripped to its rawest loop. The iconic short, 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 long spliced into a seamless cycle. Next to it, the tambozao from Rio, a pounding kick, snare and hi-hat, looped at 130 beats per minute. The shapes on the waveform, the peaks, the valleys, the sudden drops, move almost in sync, even though the instruments and centuries are worlds apart. Both build tension by locking the listener into repetition, then break it with a jolt, a sforzando in Beethoven, a sub-bass drop in funk. The sensation is nearly identical, a physical urge, a collective gasp, then the rush of release. This is not about historical connection, it is about how rhythm and release cross every boundary. This is where it gets strange. 2 worlds, 1 pulse. Right now, the same pulse that once shook Vienna's concert halls drives millions onto packed dance floors in Rio. Rhythm still bypasses logic, erupting straight into the body. No matter the century, it was never just meant to be heard, it was always meant to be felt. Drop your thoughts below.